All right. Okay. So how is Just Growth First Rubber Realty organized? Is it a sole proprietorship, partnership, corporation?
Right now it would be like an LLC.
Okay.
So I'm subcontracted to First Weber. As my business grows, then I have, for tax benefits, would look at going into other avenues.
Okay. All right. How long has it been established?
Since April of 2019.
How would you characterize yourself?
Fun, straightforward, honest, lots of integrity.
What made you decide to go into your own business?
Well, I come from a long line of entrepreneurships. My dad has his own business. My uncle or lots of my uncles and aunts and grandparents have also had their own businesses. So it's kind of just instilled in me. Do you want to know like why I chose realty too, or just?
Sure.
Okay, yeah. So realty, I've always been nosy. I've always like driven by houses and thought, oh, to fix that house up, or oh, I want to see the inside of that house and whatever. So being a realtor had that, that gave me the avenue to check out all these different houses without just going and knocking on doors. But I also like to repurpose, redo, refinish, whether it be furniture or homes. So eventually I want to grow this into where I can buy investment properties and fix them up and resell them too.
Nice. Who are your current competitors?
Well, honestly, any realtor is my competitor, even within our office. Something that most people don't realize is each one of us is, we're independent unless we team up together. I have not teamed up with anybody. So each realtor, even within my First Weber office, is a competitor. Only we look at it as healthy competition. We don't, we help each other out. If we have questions, we can go to each other and ask, and everybody is super great about helping each other out. But real estate as a whole is very competitive and not so nice.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't necessarily consider people within my office my competitors, even though they are. And anybody outside of our First Weber office then would be huge competition.
Okay. All right. Your products, they change constantly, right?
Well, yeah, because we do everything from vacant land to commercial to residential. Yeah, so it's always changing.
Do you advertise?
I do. I boost on, oh, sorry, did you have more?
No.
Okay, so First Weber does a lot of advertising on our behalf through their websites, and they actually provide websites for each of us agents. Personally, I advertise in our church bulletin. I also boost posts on Facebook because social media is huge. In fact, between social media and word of mouth, that's where most of my business comes from, and like the referrals.
Right. How did you decide on location?
For me, I've always kind of just worked with First Weber, so they were my natural first place to go talk and see what they had to offer in talking with different firms. First Weber had the most to offer as far as like electronics go. We can do everything over the computer or cell phones. I mean, I could literally do a contract on my cell phone if I liked the size of the screen. So for me, that meant I could work anywhere. I could work from home. I could work in a shopping center. I could work at a restaurant, or I could go into the office, which is huge when you're showing properties at, 7 o'clock at night and somebody wants to write an offer. You can do it right there as long as you have internet.
Right. Do you have employees?
Nope.
No? Okay.
All by myself.
Is there any like equipment or anything that you need to know how to use, like computers, certain technology, software?
You have to be very computer literate. So computer, tablets, cell phones, those are our biggest things. And 90% of our work is done on our cell phones these days. Because we use them, we use the camera to take the pictures of the properties, to upload those pictures onto our sites, and so.
What paperwork is involved in running your business?
Lots of contracts. And it starts with questionnaires when you first meet with people, trying to decide exactly what their needs are. And then I'm a note taker, so that I can, when you're working with 3, 4, 5, 6 clients at a time, you have to take some serious notes unless you have an awesome memory. And I do not. So, note taking, and then and the questionnaires, obviously. And then once you're ready to enter into a partnership with your clients, contracts for buyer's agencies, if you're gonna help them shop for a home, and listing contracts if you're helping them sell.
Okay. How do you establish your prices?
Market analysis. And it changes weekly. So, for instance, yesterday afternoon, I got a phone call, wondered if I could come take a look at their home, give them a market value. So I went, toured the home, asked some questions, tried to figure out exactly what their needs are. And then this morning got up bright and early and looked through everything that has sold, is currently for sale, and expired in the last 6 months to a year. And the criteria I use are something that's comparable to the subject property, the house that I'm looking for right now. And then we actually have a program that we can put our comparables into, and it kind of calculates a range for us. And then you have to use your knowledge of, based on what is currently out there, and that's similar to that. Like in this particular instance, there is not currently a house similar to it on the market. So you could take advantage of that if you wanted to and price it a little bit higher. Or in their case, they need to sell right now because they found a new house they want to go to. So then we price it very competitively, hoping to get multiple offers and get them on the way sooner rather than later.
Okay. How do you handle a difficult customer?
Sometimes you have to be a chameleon. So I don't change who I am. I just adapt to their needs. Difficult can be many different things. In the real estate market, the most difficult situation is, and the most difficult people, it's often emotional. Usually they have put a lot of time and love into their homes, and when you come in and tell them what your market analysis reveals, some are very realistic, and those are the easy clients, but then there's a lot of people who feel like they've put so much time and effort into their home and love into their home that they feel like it should be worth a whole lot more.
Right.
So those clients get very difficult. Some get mad about it, and some, they're just hurt, and you just have to kind of adjust your personality to be able to hold a conversation with them and keep them calm.
All right. All right. We know you don't have employees, but say if you would, how would you motivate tardiness? It's a tricky question because you don't watch people on a daily, but
Right. In the real estate world, there's always incentives. I mean, you get paid for what you do, and you get paid for how well you do it. So in the real estate market, it's very easy to, if you had employees, it's very easy to pay them on their performance. And if they're not showing up, then they're not getting paid.
right.
I do have previous managerial experience with a local company, and that was a convenience store. Wages are not awesome, and lots of young kids, and they don't like to show up for work. There is a disciplinary system, but that just doesn't mean anything. If they don't want to show up, they're not going to show up.
Right.
So I just tried to make it fun to come to work, and we had a much better turnout when they felt like they were valued and they could have a little bit of fun in the meantime.
Okay. What type of insurance does your business need?
We actually pay in dues, monthly dues, because we have to be insured against, we have to carry a personal liability insurance. And that's, if something, that would be like if somebody sued us because they felt like we didn't do our job properly, then we have to carry this personal liability insurance to help mitigate those losses. I'm obviously fairly new to the business. I've not seen any of that actually come into reality, and I actually have not heard of an instance where it's been used, but we have to carry that. Okay. We work out of our vehicles a lot, so of course you have to have vehicle insurance and all that fun stuff. That's about it.
Okay. What security measures do you take?
First Weber handles all of that for us, which is why, that's another reason why they even emails, they use a special database for their email servers and stuff, so that they're super encrypted and hard to get into.
All right. What benefits do you offer or get offered?
They do offer a company to us that handles 401ks and like a tax savings account, because we're self-employed, so we have to set money out of each commission check in order to pay our taxes, whether we're quarterly or annually. So they offer investment accounts for that kind of stuff. They now also started offering health insurance at group rates, but they're still not great. First Weber also does a ton of training. They actually hold what they call roundtable discussions every week at our corporate office in Madison. So if you want to take the time to drive there, or they stream them, you can stream them online too and watch the playbacks of them. But if you go to the roundtable, the benefit to going to the roundtable is you get to ask your questions right up front and be answered live, so you get to actually talk with the trainer and get the feedback that you need right then and there, versus hoping that your question was asked when you're watching the playback.
Right.
So they offer a lot of training. Anytime something comes out new, there's a training portion on it, whether it's given to our sales managers and they give that to us, or we go somewhere for the training. But so training to keep us current and up to date, whether it's laws, paperwork,
Nice.
something new.
Nice.
Yeah.
What education is required or training is required to own and operate your own business?
In this particular business, you have to be licensed with the state of Wisconsin. So WRA, which is Wisconsin Realtors Association, offers a class. One of the benefits to taking it, signing on with First Weber and taking it, is you get your materials deeply discounted. Deeply. And like it's a couple $100 to just get the books and register for the class. But when you decide to work with First Weber, it's less than $200. It's a self-study course, so you do it at your own pace. I ordered my books the middle of January and started off like a rock star, and then it was still wintertime and my kids got sick, and so I never actually was ready to test until April. Took my test the 2nd of April, and I had my license in my hand on April 10th.
Nice.
So it can be, it's self-study. You can do it very quickly, but you have to have 72 hours of the course. You have to be able to pass your state of Wisconsin exam, and then you have to do training every 2 years to keep up on everything.
All right. Nice. What would you suggest be taught in schools that would encourage and help students to own and operate their own business?
I'm really old school. I think schools need to go back to teaching our children simple things like balancing a checkbook and taxes and investments and all that stuff. Most schools do have apprenticeships or like a school to work program, but I don't know how much they actually talk to the kids about those programs anymore. I think if they would put a little more emphasis on them, because those apprenticeships and school to work programs give you lifelong. They teach you a trade, but they also give you the experience of working for an employer, because some people are not, like, they don't work while they're in high school. Some do. It just gives them lifelong tools to use and carry with them.
Right. So that does conduct our interview. Thank you for coming and sitting down with me.
You're very welcome. Thanks for asking.